Welcome everyone. Let's begin by dropping in. Beginning with just noticing whatever it is that's present for you. And beginning with just opening to the sounds around us. Noticing sounds both near and far. And bringing our attention, gathering attention, and shifting attention to your own breath, to the direct experience of breathing. And let's begin our practice with 3 deep, mindful breaths. And we're going to do this in a specific way. We're going to breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 7, and then breathe out for 8 counts. And we'll do this 3 times, and only if this is comfortable for you. If you'd like to just take a deep breath at your own pace, that's fine. But we can experiment with this 4, 7, 8 breath. So breathing in for 4, holding for 7, and exhaling for 8. Again, when you're ready, breathing in for 4, holding for 7, and exhaling for 8. And a third time, breathing in, holding, and exhaling. Bringing attention as close to this breath as you can. Knowing that the mind will wander, it's just what it does. It's normal for the mind to wander, and it's our task that each time we notice the mind wander, we simply observe that and we choose without judgment to bring our attention back to this breath. Remembering that we're actually sensing the breath, not just thinking about it, but dropping into that felt sensation of this very breath. Knowing that our sense of listening, it doesn't go away while we're focusing on the breath, but it's just an experience that can rise in our field of awareness. And when a sound captures our attention, we can just notice it. And then when we're ready, without judgment, we can choose to bring our attention back to this very breath. Sensing this breath in and this breath out. And whatever our experience is, seeing if we can just let it be what it is. So for instance, we might notice right now that the mind is wandering a lot. Maybe it feels like that monkey jumping from one thing to another. Maybe the mind feels a little distracted or busy. Or maybe it feels quiet. Whatever it is, whatever quality is present in the mind, seeing if we can just let it be there. And by allowing our experience to be what it is, we're setting conditions that promote a sense of ease, rather than a sense of strain, of feeling that things should be different or our experience should be different than what it is. And bringing attention to this breath in and this breath out. Sensing the rise and fall of the belly as you breathe. If you notice that the chest is doing most of the moving during the breath, seeing if you can soften those abdominal muscles to drop the breath into the belly. Oftentimes in our culture especially, we're taught to tighten our stomach, and instead we're softening our belly, breathing again like a baby or a puppy. They breathe with their whole belly. Allowing that breath to flow freely to and from the belly. Sensing the movement in the body from the breath. Remembering that curiosity can be so helpful in our practice. And connecting with a sense of curiosity about the breath. What can you notice about this very breath? Seeing if you can notice that moment when the inhalation changes to an exhalation. And that moment when the exhalation changes to an inhalation. We can't be with a breath in the future or a breath from the past. It's only this breath, this beautiful anchor to the present moment that's available to us in any given moment. Sensing, breathing, knowing that the longer we sit, the more likely we might encounter challenges. These challenges might be a persistent thought, a feeling like antsiness or boredom. And remember that we can use our challenges as opportunities to practice. So we can turn toward that challenge, make space for it, and get curious about it. What do we notice about that challenge? How does it feel? How do we experience it in the body? Oftentimes, by turning toward this challenge, we change our relationship to it. And we might even find that it shifts or falls away. And turning again to this breath, this moment, this direct experience of breathing. Letting our experience be exactly as it is. And just being with the experiences that rise in our awareness, like sound or thoughts, and just letting them come and go. Turning again to this breath. Sensing this breath in and this breath out. And allowing our eyes to open if we haven't already done so. Welcome everybody. So many of us so dedicated to come even though it's pouring rain and thundering and probably lightning outside. Thank you all so much for being here. So I'd love to hear about your experience in that practice, if you have any comments, any questions, and if you noticed anything different perhaps about not using music this week. We had some in the beginning, but it faded to a lovely silence. Any questions even about your practice outside of this class? Or insights? It feels like we're all just here, yes.
I mean, this question is to you and everyone else in the room. How often do you all meditate, or is it every day or a couple of times a week?
Great question. I'll open it up to the floor first, and then I'll share.
I'll try to answer that. Just this morning, the weather was still nice. I actually did some walking meditation on every morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to without any shoes.
Yeah.
It's good to feel the grass.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to see the sun, to see the nice weather, the
Yeah.
trees. So, as Corinne would always say, the true test of meditation, of this practice is out there, right?
Right, the true practice is how we're living our life outside of this room. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Thank you, that's beautiful. Practicing walking meditation in bare feet and outside, that sounds lovely.
I'll share. I think I've shared this before, but I'll share it again. So one of the things that I learned is when you are relaxed, if you find a comfortable position or time of the day when you are relaxed, right, you are generating positive activities in your brain. So I learned that you stay with that positiveness longer, so it's really rewiring your brain to learn to be positive. So for me, taking shower is really so relaxing, and I have decided now, for the past 1.5 years, that as soon as I come out of the shower, I straight go to my bed and sit there, and then I just, because it's early morning, I take shower. So before all the day, chaos come to us, and that's a perfect time for my meditation. Another thing is, it's also, I'm beginning to understand that not necessarily you have to sit and do this, it's the way of living, and everything we do, am I paying attention? Is my mind wandering? Everything that we do is kind of, trying to cultivate this habit.
Absolutely, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I resonate with how you have sort of built this into your daily routine with meditating after getting out of the shower. All these experiences that we do throughout the day, that we do every day, like showering, getting ready to go to bed, brushing our teeth, washing dishes, it's all an opportunity to practice. It might be more of an informal practice where we're doing this during our activities, and the sitting practice being a more formal practice. Maybe will show up some days, maybe it won't, but it's beautiful to incorporate this in all that we do. Thank you. Anybody else feel moved to share? Yes.
I can also share, we used to have a deepening program, and I learned from this deepening program just to remind yourself early morning when you wake up, just several breaths, just a reminder. And it's simple, just maybe 3 or 10 breaths, but it's simple and it's not easy to remind yourself. Of course, usually when we wake up, we immediately run into kids or husbands or our business, something in a hurry. But it really reminds you what your day is going to be about. It's really settling the day down. And I usually meditate, like a formal meditations, usually when I have time, it's evening. Not every evening. But evenings.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I think it's really important to keep it real that maybe many of us don't do this every day. And just to answer the question also in terms of how frequently I meditate, I'm practicing this in everything that I do. That's my goal. I catch myself. I'm not perfect by any means, but I catch myself when I'm just not there. I've gotten better at noticing when I'm just thinking about something else and doing whatever it is that I'm doing to bring myself back. And so informally, I'm practicing this all the time. Formally, I try every morning before I hop out of bed to be with my breath, even if it's just for a few breaths. And the formal practice, the more lengthy, amounts of time that I might sit, it varies also. It shows up some days, other days it might not show up. But what I do notice is that if I make time for this in my day, it changes the rest of my day. If I can start, even if it's 5 minutes in the morning, it's that popular phrase, getting up on the right side of the bed or the wrong side of the bed. This is almost a guarantee. If I can make even 5 minutes in the morning, that it will set a tone for the rest of my day that I got up on the right side of the bed. Thank you for the question. Any other questions or insights, comments?
I'll just share one small thing. I think that getting a credit from your spouse is the hardest thing to do. You might get, all the other people might see your changes, but it's getting from your spouse. So he mentioned to me just last week, hey, I'm noticing that you start to say something and then you correct yourself. Because you know what, that normal default thing, trigger comes to me. Now I'm beginning, he started noticing that. I'm actually, noticing myself, and then I'm switching, creating that space. So he finally acknowledged this behavior of me, changed behavior. That's awesome.
That is awesome. It is awesome. When other people start noticing, they're like, what are you doing? You're different. I want to learn about what you're doing that's different, because you seem happier, you seem, more thoughtful in what you're saying, or whatever it may be. Thank you for sharing that. Did I see your hand?
Yeah, I was going to just say there are 3 things I've done this year that have sort of formalized my meditation practice I've been doing for a while. One is that I've set my alarm for half an hour early every morning. And when I used to get up, give myself an extra half an hour to have some kind of formal, whether it's 5 minutes, 20 minutes, some kind of formal meditation. The other thing, I've kind of posted little notes like by my sink in the kitchen, bathroom, and by the shower, just to remind me that when I'm brushing my teeth, to be mindful when I'm washing dishes, when I'm taking a shower, whatever it might be. And also something somewhat recent that I've tried is also just turning off the radio and just focusing when I'm driving, on focusing and being present in that moment.
Thank you for sharing that, because that's such a wonderful idea, to put cues, to put things in our daily life, places we visit often, our computer, our desk, the car, our kitchen, the fridge, with little cues to remember to be mindful. So we'll see that and we'll say, oh yeah, here I am. So that's great. I also, as you were speaking, I had another thought about frequency of meditation, and I guess not so much frequency, but getting more and more tuned in to yourself. I found for me times when my being is like, sit, it's time to get quiet. It's almost a desire to meditate that comes from deep within me, and it's those times that might be even longer times that I practice, like 30 to 45 minutes, and there's something in me that's like, it's time to get quiet, because you've maybe not been quiet for some time. So we get more tuned into ourselves as we practice this. Beautiful.